Hi, I'm Bill McLaughlin, Editor-in-Chief of Furniture Today. I'm here with Adam Dunn at Four Hands, and we're going to talk a little bit about shape, and not mine. I understand you have some real interesting shape stories going on at this market. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, so a big trend for this market, one of our looks actually is called sculpted modern. So really what we kind of thought about was, for the past few years, we've seen like organics and softness and all of these like very natural found items being in fashion. We kind of wanted to move away from that a little bit. So for us, sculpted modern is really all about intention. So, and it's thought and purpose behind all of the designs instead of them being found.
I notice also that you're continuing to expand into outdoor. That's a relatively new category for you. I saw some real interesting shape in that area as well.
Yeah, outdoor has actually been our fastest growing product segment over the past year, which is really exciting. So anytime you do something new in this industry and it kind of takes off, it's a great sign. So for us at Four Hands, we think that outdoor is really like an extension of your living space. It's not a separate room, it's just a new room in the house. So we try to take all of our brand concepts and design, like mixing materials, doing interesting shape, and bringing that into outdoor design. So we've got a lot of really cool shape out there.
Tell me about how you mix materials, because there's a little philosophy to that, right?
I have to say that the thing that I'm most proud of at Four Hands is how we mix materials together. That's what we do best in terms of design. So my team is constantly, we spend the majority of our year overseas in manufacturing and sourcing. So we're always looking for new materials, new functionality, things like that. So when you look at a piece of furniture from Four Hands, it usually has at least two to three materials on every piece. And how we put them together and how we mix them is what really kind of creates the heart of a Four Hands product.
What are some of the new materials that you're starting to see trend on the upward side?
Well, we've been doing a lot of terrazzo, which is really exciting, but we're trying not to do it in the same way that it's been done for years. So instead of doing glass, we're using marble in terrazzo. Cane and woven materials have been really big over the past couple of years, and we're still really going deep into that. And then we're exploring sort of like more traditional finishes done in modern ways. So we're doing more acorn colors, like those really kind of classic mid-century feels, and then also going back to a lot of oaks that have been ceruse, so like a black ceruse, a white ceruse, and just trying to find new ways to reinvent classic materials.
So if I'm a retailer and I'm trying to think, what should I be trending in or moving out of my assortment? What should I be starting to think about? Maybe it's time to move on to some new things.
It's a good question, and it's kind of really store by store. So for us at Four Hands, like we're seeing industrial move out, but that doesn't mean that an individual retailer isn't still selling a ton of it, right? So we kind of think that when we see a trend happening, it starts on the coasts and then it kind of works its way into the country. So I feel like even though industrial's not a completely gone trend, it's still moving its way in towards the center of the country. So that's something for us we're moving away from, but I think it's kind of what your customers want.
Now, one of the things that you do really, really well is a kind of eclectic feel. It's not garanimals. It's not everything the same color, everything the same style. How do you do that philosophically? What is the strategy behind that?
So before we go into any design season, we create a really strong creative brief, and that talks about our material concepts, the stories, how we're going to be blending them together, our color stories, how the color translates from upholstery to case goods, how we can take those materials across multiple categories. So it's very purposeful. So for example, when we have something like cane, or like what's on these items here, we want to make sure that those materials are represented in every product category so we can tell a cohesive story when you walk through the showroom.
Are there some particular color stories that you see starting to pop up this market and next?
Yeah, so plum, so like it's going to be really big. So like purple colors, plums, browns, toffees, rust, that's been really, really big. We saw a lot of it in this past runway season. So going into like in 2019, we've seen a lot of like rust colors, more saturated tones, and then I think we're going to go more like reds, browns going into 2020.
Great. Well, thanks for taking us through the assortment.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you very much.